and all of you that have been such good friends and good family members, our fathers. And he loved each and every one of you. He was so inspired to wish you happy birthdays and anniversaries, as you all know. He will be dearly, dearly missed by a lot of people. And I know that not everybody could make it here today, but he knows that he was very loved and appreciated. And he is now with our mother in eternity and forever. And we would do this too. My best friend. Somebody my best friend, but after Mom died, we got very, very close, and he became a really good friend. And I love him too, and I will miss him. And someday I'll see him again. And until then, he will be missed. So I want to just invite anybody that would like to share. Or anybody that wants to say something, please. Yeah.
My husband and I have known Kathy and her mother, Shirley, and her father, Ken, for many, many years. And both of them, camping trips that we had and times that we spent together. And I'll tell you of just one incident. We were up on the Lewis River, up camping, 3 couples, took the adults out in the boat. The boat flipped on its side. 4 of the adults landed in the water. That's when we learned that Ken didn't know how to swim. But we managed to get everybody in with the thought is 9 children sitting on the beach waiting for us to come back alive. So that was just one of the many, many interesting times we have had camping with Ken and Shirley. And like Kathy said, it's going to be a sad day this coming. My birthday is due, and I'm not going to get flowers from Ken. I miss that day. He was a wonderful man. They were a wonderful couple to know, and we truly appreciate it.
I hear you. My birthday's in a couple weeks, and it's going to be really weird not to have him show up at my massage clinic with my flowers, and all of my clients wondering, why? How are you so special? And I remember he was our home teacher when I was a young mother, and my kids looked so forward to having Shirley and her husband and Ken come and see our family. And we used to trade. He would come get massage, and I would be able to get work done. And that was so amazing, especially as I became a single mom and needed help, needed a man around my house. And one time last year when he came by, I didn't know it was going to be the last time, and I was just crying because I didn't get any cards from my own family. And I remember telling him how special it was. He goes, "It's not a big deal." I said, "What do you mean it's not a big deal?" He goes, "It's in my calendar on my phone." And I said, "But it's a big deal because you didn't just call me. You came by, you went and got flowers, and you came by to see me. And I just happened to just be out of a massage, and it was just so beautiful. And I'm going to miss that, and I'm so grateful for your family, and we're going to miss them."
So I think everybody realizes Ken was really good at the little gestures and the big gestures. And as a young kid, my dad and Ken were super close friends. And he was such a good chess player. And I always aspired to be a really good chess player. My dad set up a grudge match between me and Ken. And I beat him in chess. And I was so enthusiastic as a little 9-year-old, but now as years progress, I'm pretty sure he let me win. But it's the little things. He knew was important to me as a little guy, but his heart and his thoughts were always with others. And my dad and him have been great friends since the 50s and have become closer as they each lost their spouse and spent weekly together. And if he couldn't raise my dad on the phone, he would worry, and he'd call me and he'd say, I can't get your dad on the phone. I'm gonna go over there and see what's going on. And that's just Ken. He'd drop whatever he was doing to go check in and help somebody else. So thank you.
And that is that the word no was not in his vocabulary. If you even thought of wanting to do something, he was there and did it for you. Ken always was there for everybody.
And brother and family, how much I love not just your dad, but your mom as well. And sorry, I was going to try not to cry. It's just like Shirley is here with me all the time, and she was my dearest friend when I first moved here to Oregon and out up here. And then Ken became so close, and he was dear to not just our family, but many families. And like you'll hear from so many, that anytime you needed anything, he was there. Or if I was putting in my raspberries, along came beautifully made stakes to put my raspberries up against metal, and anything we needed, he was there. And my children loved him too. And they were really sad to hear of his passing, but yet they all said, what an amazing life. I want to live a long life like that. And both him and Shirley embraced those that were around them and always taught, never stopped teaching. They were always sharing information, ideas, and most of all, the love that they had for their family. I know I shared a few stories with Kathy, and I just want you to know that those memories are beautiful, and I know that they'll continue through Ken's children and his grandchildren and great-grandchildren.
I wanted to step forward and talk about Ken a little bit. We've been in this area for 29 years, and known Ken for that whole time. We used to have a tradition, until very recently, of meeting for Friday night play cards. It was a standing invitation basically for Ken. We had Dorothy Jenkins and Pat and Paul Adams that had moved, but whenever they would come back, they wanted to play cards with Ken. And it's just been a really special time. And be able to help him sometimes has been a real pleasure, because he helped so many other people. I know that, and that's pretty much what I wanted to say. He's just been a great friend.
You really look forward to that Friday nights.
Yeah, I know it was a bummer when we couldn't do it Friday night. And it used to be pretty large groups, actually. And now it's down to just my wife, Ken, myself, and really, and the grandkids occasionally. So it was sort of a highlight of this week a little bit, something to look forward to. So we're gonna definitely miss him. It was a shock. We were in Minnesota when we found out. It was just from Pat and Paul Adams actually called us. So anyway, I just want to say my appreciation for Ken and his life.
We appreciate you guys.
I love Ken. He's a wonderful, loving man. I remember years ago I was assigned to home teach a family, and they called me one day and said, our washing machine doesn't work. Could you come and see what you could do? So I went and I played around with it. Well, I couldn't fix it. And they said, oh, we should call Ken Altmann. And so we did. And Ken came and fixed it while I watched him fix it. But there are a lot of those examples. One other little incident, because we know that he knew a lot of people's birthdays and anniversaries and so forth. And he was always in church early before the rest of us. And Kathy would come and sit by him. And we sat by him for many years on the same pew. But this one September Sunday, my wife and I came in the pew. Ken was already sitting down there. There were a few other little people there that Harris was greeting. As we walked in, Ken said, "Happy wedding anniversary." My wife and I went. We had both forgotten, but Ken knew.
Ken was always coming over and fixing things for us, and I will never forget. We just got gas put in so we could have a gas stove, and they delivered our stove, but they wouldn't install it. So we called Ken. And so Ken came over and he put it in the right place. He checked everything out. And then he said to me, "I can't get in there far enough to hook it up. So I need you to do that." And I'm like, okay. And so I got down there and I said, "Ken, this is too short. I can't get them to stick together." And he said, "No, you can do it. It's right. You can do it." And then it was pretty soon, "Ken, this isn't sticking. It's not staying. No, you can do it." And he'd give me more instructions. And we finally did what we needed to do, even though I don't think it was very good. So, but he was always encouraging. He was always very helpful. And we love Shirley too. To me, she was sunshine all the time. And I have missed her so much. And so I'm so thankful that they're together. I think that's the best thing in the world.
I've only known Kenny for about 30 years when I moved into church and whatnot. We're just young members, and he's a mighty, mighty man that I learned service from, because I was trained this way, but this is the way it actually works. I'm just common sense boy. And then there was another time that I remember really, really floored me. And this helped me being a father. When Ken would do something, a project, everyone else would show up with their little trailer, park that. He'd come with a big trailer with at least the whole job worth, But one time we were, I think at the church, we were doing a service project. And I had my oldest boy, who's like 40 now. And I was trying to teach him how to work, and I was getting kind of upset because my dad was like, "Don't you ever embarrass me, boy, you make sure you work." I thought he was being lackadaisical, but Ken was right over here, and he just came over and he didn't say, "Lay off the boy." He just said, "Hey, Casey, over there at the end, there's something that needs some attention." He just put his arm around my son, and I just let it go. But on the way home, my boy goes, "No, Dad, sure it's a lot easier to work for Brother Altmann than it is for you."
Our dear Heavenly Father, we gather this day in honor of our dear friend, Ken Altmann. And at this time, through the authority of the Melchizedek priesthood of the chapel, I dedicate the place where he will be buried as a place of peace, that it will be hallowed and protected until such time as he will be reunited. We pray at this time that all those who knew and loved Ken will be comforted and live on with the knowledge that we have and the memories we have of him, for his love and dedication, not only to his family and friends, but to his country. He loved this country. He loved everything about it. We pray that we may also carry that memory of his love with us. We pray a special blessing upon his family, that they will be comforted in his loss, but also comforted in the great memories that we have. We pray for those who are his friends, that they will also live on in joy and happiness with the memories that we have of him. We are grateful that he has been relieved of the ailments that he faced with his mortal body, and that he is now rejoiced soon. Pray that thou would open and accept him with open arms, and that he will be able to now live in happiness with her. In this prayer and dedication we do, in the sacred name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Dad talked about the last ride for a long, long time. He got his last ride. I want everybody to think, not to watch. Every time you see a bald eagle or a flag, please think of my dad. He loves bald eagles.
Yeah.
And he always flew the flag too. He built the flagpole years and years ago when I was a little kid. Had it out front of the house. I don't know how many times I climbed it. Probably 4, 5, 10 times. But I have that flagpole in my backyard. I have a flag on it every day. And I'll probably fly this on his time that he passed away. But yeah, when you see a flag and an eagle, think of Dad. He's with Mom. He's in a much better place. But thanks for everybody for coming out and supporting us.